Hello and welcome to week 2 of LIBS 301. This week we'll be looking at the information literacy step of identify. So for this week, what do we need to be looking at? So for the required materials to look through, we have the week 2 instructor video. So this video right here. We also have the how to write a strong research question for research papers YouTube video and the navigating the library's website video. For supplemental or non-required materials to look through, we have the research question and keywords worksheet, the how to develop a strong research question YouTube video, and a writing strong research questions, which is an article online. This week we also have one assignment due, which is the research question and keywords post. So let's get into the content. So our information literacy concept for this week, as I mentioned before, is identify. So the step of identifying is to determine what information is needed and why. So last week we did our topic selection post, and now this week we're going to create a research question as well as develop our list of keywords. So it's always important to figure out what are we looking for when we go into research. We're identifying what our question is, what our problem is, what we would like to solve with our research. So next, we need to really develop a research question and keywords list. So what is a research question? A research question is very similar to a thesis statement, and it's a question that directs your focus when researching and really gives you a direction to go in as you are going through your searches. Now, you can morph your research question into your thesis statement by reworking the wording. And as you go through your process, if you need help with this, please reach out and I am more than happy to walk us through this. So to develop a research question, our first step is to define the topic area. In a few words, you're going to describe your broad topic or area of research. So the example we're going to look at is stopping smoking. It's a fairly broad topic, but I want to kind of see where we can go with it. The next step is we need to describe the problem. In a sentence or two, describe a problem that could be addressed within your topic area of research. So for example, smokers often relapse because of complex physical and psychological factors. So I want to look at seeing what are they, why does it happen, and kind of what might go along with that. Step 3, we're going to specify a gap in the research and justify this investigation. So determine what is unknown or unresolved about this topic and really why should we bother investigating it. Kind of figure out the who cares, why is this important, why should I care about this research, really make that argument within your research as you guys go through. So for this example, we really don't know what combination of physical and psychological factors is most often associated with a smoking relapse, but I would like to learn more about it. Next, we need to create our research question. So brainstorm as many questions as you can think of that relate to your research topic, problem, or gap. Try starting questions with what, why, where, when, who, and how, and in general, try to avoid questions that will result only in a yes or no answer. So, for example, don't write a question of, will most smokers relapse? That's a yes or no question, but why do most smokers relapse? Or why do some smokers relapse? Those are questions that we can dig further into. Next, we really also want to assess and refine your question. So evaluate your question as you go through and ask yourself the following kind of mini questions. Will the reader understand it on the first reading? Is it feasible given your time and resources? Does it continue to contribute to a wider academic conversation? You want to continue the conversation, not just kind of toss something in. You want to add something to this conversation. We also might want to tighten our focus. So look at every word within the question. Replace as many as you can with more specific languages or ideas. So instead of just saying students, define that student and say maybe it's a ninth grader in Ontario. Also, revisit your research questions often. So keep your research question in mind throughout the research and writing process. You may find that you need to adapt your research question as you learn more, and that's perfectly okay. This is something that will morph and change. So when you get to that final essay and you're creating your thesis statement, you really have something nice and defined that you can really work with that has a good amount of meat to it as well. So now on to the keywords. So what is a keyword list? So a keyword list is a collection of both words and phrases that can help you search for your topic. This can also contain both layman terms, so the general audience terms, as well as industry terms that are very specific to your topic. This is also going to be a living document, so it'll change and grow as you go through your research process. I expect as you guys create your list for this week that you'll be building upon it as you go through your searches, and that's perfectly fine and is really good if you can. So to create a keyword list, first we want to write out our research question. So once you have that question developed, toss it into a piece of paper and we're going to work off of that. So my example is, what combination of physical and psychological factors affect smoking relapses in adults? Step 2, we're going to circle, highlight, or underline the main concepts. So for that research question, we have combinations, physical, psychological, smoking relapse, and adults. So I have a handful of keywords that I'm going to be working with. Next, we're going to brainstorm additional keywords for each concept. So try to figure out synonyms, correlating terms and phrases, and do note that a thesaurus is a really great place to find these terms. So for combination, we have unification or consolidation. For physical, we might have bodily. Psychological would be cognitive, emotional, mental. For a smoking relapse, we have our smoking regression, a smoking lapse, a drug relapse, a drug regression, a drug lapse, or even a nicotine relapse. And for adult, we can really look at this in a number of different ways. So we might have mature people, we have millennials, Generation X. We might even have something that's like 25 to 40-year-olds. So very specific but broader, kind of generalized topics, kind of figuring out how else we can word these. So with this list, as you have all of these wonderful keywords, when you go into search in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to mix and match your keywords and really find some great sources and materials that you might not have found if you were just kind of typing in what you would in a Google search. So this week, I will have you guys watching the Navigating the Libraries website video. So this is a nice 3-minute and 46-second video. It was created here by the library. So please look through that if you do have questions about navigating the library's website, accessing resources, finding information. Please reach out. As the librarian, I am more than happy to walk you guys through this. So for this week, for materials that you need to look through, so we have the Week 2 Instructor video, as well as the How to Write a Strong Research Question for Research Papers YouTube video, and the Navigating the Library's website YouTube video. For supplemental or non-required materials that you guys can look at, we have the Research Questions and Keywords worksheet, the How to Develop a Strong Research Questions YouTube video, and Writing Strong Research Questions articles. This week we have one assignment due, which is the Research Questions and Keywords post, as well as the response. So you're going to create a research questions and keywords list based on the topic that you selected in week 1. There is a worksheet available to guide you. It is not required to do the worksheet, but it might give you guys a starting and jumping off point. Please note that the initial post, so your post, is due on Thursday, and then please respond to your classmates by Sunday. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing your keywords and your research questions.